Welcome back to Naruto Anime Review. This is part 7. And in this episode, in this part, I'm reviewing seasons 11 and 12. 10 fingers. Can't do 11 and 12. Okay, season 11. The season that is known as Naruto is on a boat. Yep, it's the boat season. It's not a bad season per se. Basically, just Naruto going to various islands while he's... It's basically Naruto. The whole point of this little trip is basically to go to this turtle island for him to do training and do a fake mission. Yeah, it's a fake S-rank mission involving animals. Yeah. And who goes along with Naruto? Kappa Jonin, Captain Yamato, and Guy. Yeah, my Guy goes along. I have no idea why he decided to go along, but he did. And he spends most of the season being seasick. I'm not kidding. He does. And while Naruto's at sea, some of his friends do in fact meet up with him while he's at sea. Like first it's Sakura, Ino, and Choji, who basically meet with him on an island he's at. Just by sheer coincidence, they just happened to be there. Shikamaru basically decided to also meet with him as well because he missed him. I think it was him and Rock Lee went to go visit him. But one thing that kind of bothered me about this is that you have Team 10 goes to visit Team 10 and Sakura, maybe I think Rock Lee as well, goes to visit Naruto when he's on his cruise, but yet Team 8 doesn't. I'm thinking, why in the world couldn't they have an episode where either like Hanada, Kiba, or Shino goes to visit Naruto? Yeah, that's something I always thought was particularly very odd. And I sat through the whole season. It's somewhat filler in a way. Most of it is filler. There's a little canon episodes here and there. But it is a good season nonetheless. But that's what I only complained about is that Team 8 doesn't pretty much... not only Team 8 does not go to visit him, Neji and Tenten do not visit Naruto at all while he's on his trip. But yeah, Guy's out there. Actually, wait, Rock Lee does not visit Guy. He is seen in the season, yes. For some reason, Hanada is not even seen in the season, which is, I'm thinking, that's weird. Hanada's in the village, and yet, Kiba is there. Kiba receives some training from Kakashi while Naruto's away. But yet, no Hanada? It's very odd. Besides going to random, like some involving mushrooms. Yeah, that was a really bizarre episode. One episode have them going to a place called Battleship Island, where where this island looks like an actual battleship, and it fires basically like what you normally think of when you think of battleships. Mortars. Except these mortars are covered with paper bombs. Lots of them. Basically what they do is they cover a whole big boat with them, and they fire at them. Yeah, and for some reason the pirate who's in charge of this island, he's obsessed with ships, like gathering every single little piece. Heck, he even took Naruto's headband as sort of a souvenir, though Naruto himself did get it back. It was an oddball of an episode. And it's a very interesting season nonetheless. There's also one episode where it has a connection to Jiraiya, where apparently he fought this particular woman years prior because he infiltrated a particular village for research. So apparently because he was strong, the woman decided to challenge him, and if she wins, he becomes her husband. Or at least if he defeats her, they're supposed to get married. It's a weird custom in the village, and I guess Jiraiya was like, let's hold off on this, and he tells her about Tsunade, about their one-way romance, where he's in love with Tsunade, even though Tsunade does not share the same thing for him. And apparently they decided to arrange it where their students would fight each other and possibly start up this whole thing. It's a really bizarre situation. And Naruto doesn't even do any fighting at all. He doesn't even want to fight. The only reason why he came because it's either that or they would think he's a coward. And knowing Naruto, he does not like to be called a coward. He does not break promises at all. He may keep promises for a certain period of time before he finally fulfills them, but he doesn't give up on them. The only reason why I agreed to go to this particular island so that he can fulfill a promise. Excuse me. Despite the fact he kind of did defeat the woman, he didn't take her as his, like, he said he knows nothing about marriage, and yet he gets married later on. Yeah. And Captain Yamato gets ticked off because Naruto snuck off the ship. Yeah. And there's also an episode where Naruto meets up with a couple people from the Stone Village, and of course, the guy who was one of the 7 swordsmen, the bodyguard for the Masakage, and apparently someone from the Stone Village. I think it's from the Mist Village. Yeah, I think it's from the Mist Village, where apparently he disagrees with the whole alliance thing. He tries to take out the messenger, and he decides to, after getting defeated, he decides to just stop fighting and just go to jail for what he did. He basically turned against the Mist Village, and he took sole blame for it. He didn't want any of his followers to go to jail because of what he did. Of course, the guy later came back and fought in Ninja War the following season. Though he's not seen very much. He's basically a minor character nonetheless. So, Season 11 is a pretty interesting season nonetheless, but like I said, I have complaints about it. Like, not having Team 8 basically go meet up with Naruto, and not even Neji or Tenten. Yeah, basically, Team 8, well, basically Team Koronai and Team Guy do not meet up with Naruto at all the whole season. They are seen, well, Team Guy is seen, a little bit of Team 8, but do they go visit Naruto? Nope. That's one thing that kind of bothered me. I mean, you could have done an episode where Hinata could have met up with Naruto during his cruise. Oh, okay. And apparently Shikamaru was the only one who missed Naruto. I'm thinking, I'm sure Hinata missed him too, but yet they don't bother to show her reaction to him being gone. Yeah, but that's my personal opinions when it comes to the Shippuden episode where Hinata goes to visit him or something like that. But that's just my honest opinion. Maybe there was something planned for that, to have her go out visit him, but maybe the plan was scrapped because maybe the voice actress was not available. That's my personal guess. I don't know. Maybe there's a lead scene on the DVD for Season 11. I honestly don't have any idea. But now moving on to Season 12. Now, pretty much Naruto had arrived at the island at the start of the season, and he meets Killer Bee. And the guy in his crazy raps. So, Naruto asks him to train him. He says no at first. Then eventually he warms up to him, basically. Of course, he also did the fist pump thing. It's a common thing when it comes to Killer Bee. He loves doing the fist bump. Yeah. So eventually he gives in and trains Naruto how to control the tail beast chakra, the 9-tailed chakra, and eventually later on goes into his tail beast chakra form. Now, during the course of this training, Naruto meets sort of a ghost of his late mother, which I thought was really nice for the show to do. He finally meets her for the first time. Instead of punching her like he kind of punched his father when he first met up with him, he hugged her. Yeah, he hugged her. And it's kind of weird, though, because Naruto at this point is 16, and boy, even with the boots on, he's taller than his own mother. It's even like this also in an alternate timeline where he's taller than his own mother, but he's about the same height as his father. But she told the story of how her and Naruto's father fell in love, where they met at the academy, and they kind of start falling in love after Minto rescues. Her name is Kurkishi, I think her name is. He rescues her from a few bandits who kidnapped her. And the only way he was able to find her was by her cutting her hair, her red hair that she has, and her nickname was the Red Hot Tomato. And she even told, and one thing I thought interesting that she told Naruto is that he's the second guy who ever complimented her on her hair. Heck, even Naruto was like, I wonder what it would be like if I had red hair. And they showed an image of him with red hair. It looks quite odd though, but it's a quite interesting image. And of course, she eventually does help him uh, uh, take the nine-tailed chakra, basically. And of course, he later forms his nine-tailed chakra form. Basically, this orange form with these little marks around his neck, which that later gets explained to be the symbol for the Sage of Six Paths, which I thought was really nice. And while all this is going on, the Allied Shobi forces are basically preparing for war. The war is about to start, and Gaara is named the commander-in-chief of the main forces. And of course, there's a few other captains here and there. Of course, Tamaru is named a captain in one particular division, and it's nice to see that Neji and Hinata are in the same division, which, like I said, really nice. Now, the reason why it's explained that the reason why he was put in charge of the forces from the Hyuga clan is because now normally Hinata would be the best choice to because she's from the main branch. According to her father, she is too kind. So apparently, her being too kind is the reason why she wasn't chosen to be the commander of the forces. Okay. Yeah, it's explained a little bit earlier on why this is. It's really bizarre. But she fights side by side with her cousin the whole war. And they sent out these battles to 3 different locations. One of whom is an area led by Choji's father. I don't really remember his name. Koji, I think his name is. They basically fight on the coastline. Gaara's forces fight in the desert, which, okay, fine. And of course, Neji's forces basically go fight off in some forest, some rock area, and of course, the forces under Kakashi fight in the forest as well. And during the course, now, in the case of the coastline, it kind of has reminiscence of D-Day, because you have the white Zatsu forces coming out of the water, kind of like how it was in real life when it comes to D-Day. My guess is this scene was heavily inspired by the real life D-Day. Basically, it's an amphibious operation, and you have coastline defenders trying to defend the coastline. It's a really interesting battle, but also the thing also had the White Stone forces have some allies, people under reanimation jutsu, because Kabuto decided to join forces with Manager Uchiha. At the coastline, who was sent there? Let's see. They sent out Sonari's dead boyfriend. They sent out Ashima Saratobi, Heizan's partner, the one with the string thing. The 2 biggest criminals from the Hidden Cloud Village, who apparently have copies of the nine-tailed chakra inside of them. Excuse me. Okay. In the forest, Kakashi's forces encounter Zabuza, Haku, and a couple of people I don't recognize. And I thought this was a brilliant stroke of genius. Now, I haven't read this far in the manga to get this, but I thought this was an awesome sight to see. Basically, while they're fighting, and of course, all of a sudden these 6 coffins pop up out of nowhere. Zabuza goes to them, and who's inside these coffins? The other past 7 swordsmen of the mist. Yeah, it's an awesome sight to see, and all but one of them has their weapon. The guy who Kasumi basically killed, he does not have his weapon because Kasumi has that weapon right now. And of course, after Killer Bee killed him, well, apparently killed him, yeah, it's actually revealed he never actually really did kill him. He actually was hiding inside the sword the whole time. He took the sword as a souvenir. Though I'm actually surprised he never gave it back to the Hidden Mist Village, because that belonged to 7 swordsmen. And of course, they end up fighting these guys for a good while. Actually, it takes a while for them to defeat all of them, and they don't actually defeat um, the Seven Swordsmen. Uh, I think it was into like season 18 when they're finally all gone. But the first two sealed from the Seven Swordsmen, of course, is Zabuza and Haku. They're the first two people who are sealed, and they spend the rest of the time fighting the rest of the Seven Swordsmen. Swordsmen, basically, their swords are really bizarre. I mean, yeah, you have Zabuza's extra blade, basically kind of explains where it happened to it. Apparently, Kabuto got it somehow, and Zabuza got it again. Heck, there's one swordsman who basically his sword is a gigantic needle. Yeah. There's a woman, a red-haired woman, mind you, who apparently decided to have it where her weapon is two lightning swords. And she, and they fight her to pretty much like kind of like the end of the season. And apparently she had this thing where she was, how should I put this, killing forces, killing allied super forces like crazy. Yeah. But seeing the past Seven Swordsmen of the Mist was actually a really awesome sight to see. Like, yeah. Though they also have been shown in flashback, all seven of them together. Yeah. But despite that, it's really good the fact that they did show them. And of course, Naruto, while training, basically because of the two criminals from Hidden Cloud Village, finds out that the war has already started without him, and he's not very happy with that. So what does he do? Him and Killer Bee decide. Well, of course, this is of course after they find out about Kishumi being alive, and of course my guy fights him, defeats him, and they capture him. They try to interrogate him, but then he decides to bite his tongue, summon some sharks, and have his own sharks that he summoned eat him. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty gruesome, to say the least. But Naruto finding out about the war had already started, he's like, okay, I gotta get out of here and go fight in this war. Because, well, he feels as though that he can turn the tide of the war thanks to his newfound power. Killer Bee is basically all agree with that. So they have to fight to get out of the training. First, they fight through some small forces inside the temple. Excuse me. Then, of course, they fight through Iruka and his people. Yeah, Iruka has to calm him down. Yeah, it's really kind of interesting of how they do it. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Gaara faces off against, well, at least he sees 4 previous Kages. Who does he see? Let's see here. Where is it? Let's see if I can find it here. There's another unit led by Konkuro who encountered Deidara and Sasori. Of course, Sasori and Deidara are quickly defeated after a few episodes. Even Sai's brother shows up, which is interesting. Yeah. Let's see. Basically, here are the people who they summoned. Let's see if I can find it here. They summoned the 2nd Mazakage, the 4th Kazekage, Gaara's father. Let's see if I can find it here. The 3rd Razakage, and they also summoned also the 2nd Tazekage. Yeah, 4 people. The 2nd Tazekage was the current Tazekage's mentor. The 2nd Tazekage is this weird guy with the... He looks like Doctor Strange, but evil. Yeah. Now, when they show um, his reaction to the third Razakage being brought back through reanimation jutsu, he is ticked off. He's like, how dare they bring back my old man? It was like almost to the point he was going to smash the table. I thought that was kind of funny. But, yeah. Sasori himself gets defeated. He pretty much makes peace with Kankuro and asks him to take care of the mother and father puppets. Of course, he of course battles his own lifeless body puppet. And let's see what else. Trying to think what else is there. Oh yeah, they capture Datara, and he remains captured for about 3 seasons. He remains under the inside the Black Ant. He remains there until the reanimation jutsu is lifted. But all in all, season 12 was a very interesting season. Now, of course, back to Naruto. After they got past the first set of forces, they had to go through a couple barriers. Eventually, they got out of the turtle, and they're off on the battlefield. And the Razakage and Tsunade go out to try to stop them. And I'll get to what they do with them in the next part. But all in all, season 12 was very, very good. A little bit better than season 11 because this is mostly a canon season. But all in all, great season. So, that's it for this part. Stay tuned for part 8, where I'm going to go over seasons 13, 14, and Road to a Ninja, Naruto the movie. Yep. But until then, I will see you there. Bye.